Welcome to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DiFazio, joined today by Kevin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich, partners of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. And to our viewers in Central Pennsylvania, thank you for always welcoming us into your homes each and every week. We look forward to spending time with you, and we know that you tune in for sage advice and guidance about how to plan your retirement years. Now, when you think about retirement, what do you picture? A pristine beach, a tropical vacation? Well, that's the way a lot of times that retirement is marketed to everyone, but it can also be emotional. Think about this for a second. If you are all of a sudden entering retirement, but you don't have a plan or a purpose, it can feel like free falling from an airplane without a parachute. We're going to take a look today at the emotional aspects of retiring and how you need to have purpose and peace of mind to move forward and really have the retirement of your dreams. Joe, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well also. Thank you so much. And Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. When you think about it, obviously, there is such an identity shift when it comes from what you've done your entire life. First thing that people normally ask is, hi, my name is so-and-so. What do you do? Well, all of a sudden, that has shifted when you retire. And we have to take a look beyond the spreadsheets, if you will, and today really talk about the heart and the soul of what it feels like when someone retires. And most importantly, think about this a little bit. If you've been saving money, and then all of a sudden you're forced to spend money creating your own paycheck, that's stressful and filled with anxiety. But Joe, you see it every day.
We see it every day, all
every
the time.
Day.
Yes, yeah, and like you said, our identity is wrapped up in what we do and being successful and savings, and we've over 30, 40-year history have kind of grooved in these habits, right? We know what we need to make, what our bills are going to be. We're frugal, you know. We're looking for deals. We're trying not to spend any extra money, you know, that we don't need to. You know, these are habits that have worked for our whole life, and now all of a sudden your paycheck stops, and now it's that, you know, $1 million nest egg that you worked so hard for. You might be really tied to a number, and now all of a sudden you're going to start seeing that drop.
Yes,
or you're going to have to start drawing on it at all. Like just the idea of I'm adding to it, now I'm pulling out. That's super scary, you know. And so there's a complete mindset shift from that, and we need to have some confidence and kind of permission to spend, maybe. You know, where do we get that?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think advisors are talking about this, that the emotional hurdles of retirement. People are working their life to retire.
Right.
That's the goal, right? Then when they get there, it's like, now what?
Now what?
Now what? Because they haven't dreamt. Like they were just living. They were just surviving. They weren't dreaming of what the retirement is going to be. You know, Joe mentions this all the time, and I love it. We need to retire to something, not from something.
Yes.
And so if they're retiring to something, then they're looking forward to retirement. They're planning for it. There's that emotional, I get to have freedom. I get to do things I really want to do now, instead of like, now I'm just retiring from this job, which I hate, or whatever it might be, to now what?
Right.
So there's definitely an emotional standpoint there.
Yes. Yeah. Because loss of identity can actually cripple you as well when you're looking at making long-term financial decisions. Wouldn't that be true, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. And you may actually be on the flip side of that, and not a job that you hate, but you know, your job is a big part of who you are, and you enjoy it. You have no idea what you would do with your time if you didn't go to work.
Yes.
And so that's equally scary as to, I'm going to lose that. What am I going to do next? And like Kevin said, have you spent any time thinking about what you're retiring to? And we talk about the non-financial stuff, and I use the 3 T's. You know, you have a thrive, a tribe, and a talent pool, right? So what is my things that I need to be able to thrive in retirement? What are the habits and routines that I need to restructure? Because even though we hate saying, oh, I have a 9 to 5 and I have to clock in or clock out, like that kind of grind, routines are super, super important. It helps us regulate and just be healthy and happy, right? So that new routine, but it's going to be different. It's going to be something that you have a little more freedom in and serve you, you know? So having healthy habits is important.
Talk about the tribe.
So your communication or your community or your connection.
Okay.
we spend 40, 50 hours a week with people that are not our family. Now we do. We work with our wives, so we get to kind of blend that together. But most of us work with strangers we met in the workforce, and we've developed friendships.
Yes.
And, hey Sally, how you doing? How was your weekend? How's your kids?
Yes.
Like you're connected. But we find that when people retire or leave a job, how often do they stay connected? And so. Right. As you're approaching your retirement date, you need to be thinking about that, and maybe it's time to start, rekindling old connections, old friendships, things like that. So you need to have something there to replace that.
And also talent. I love that you mentioned that. So basically, you're saying contribute to something. It kind of ties in with having purpose.
Absolutely, and we love this one because we're all put here with a purpose. God has given us all a purpose and a plan. And it's usually not just for our own enjoyment, but to help our fellow man and benefit others and love on others. So what's special about you? And there is something special about you. We all have something special. So what is it? What talent and what things that you have to offer? Whether that's just simply encouragement and volunteerism and something like that. You don't have to be a rocket science to have something to contribute,
Right.
But we all do have something to contribute. And finding that is very helpful for a happy retirement.
Sure. Most definitely. God gave us all something unique and special.
That's right.
Kevin, I want to ask you, because you work with so many different people, what are some common primary signs that financial anxiety is literally preventing someone from just enjoying what they've worked so hard to build? What do you see? What are the common traits?
Sure. I think trying to hit that magic number that Joe mentioned, like once I hit $1 million in my 401k, then we're going to retire. Right.
Yeah.
That's something that they strive for. It might be a goal, or that they think they just need to have that. Constantly checking market tickers, constantly checking your investments, trying to make sure that they're performing and doing well, and saying no to family trips because you can't afford it. Okay, those are things. Penny pinching, compulsive penny pinching is another financial causes financial anxiety. Just over worrying about that. You know what I mean? When we are really, as Joe mentioned, here for a purpose to serve others, and that will come. If we understand that we have to thrive, tribe, and talent, that's our goals that we're looking forward to. That's what we're retiring to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're working with somebody and planning with somebody, how do I know being prudent with my money versus I'm excessively penny pinching, that kind of thing. Well, that's the time to sit down and talk with somebody and start putting together a plan and some framework around, am I having healthy habits and a healthy framework, or, am I prone to here and, this financial anxiety?
Yes.
And that's pre-retirement, but also in retirement, as we're mentioning, those are things that just carry over in retirement. So like, you're retired and your kids are going, or once you go on this trip with them and you say, no, we really can't afford it. Because they've been in their mindset all their life, I'm going to save.
Yes.
And they haven't given themselves permission to spend.
That's
When
a
they've
tough
already
thing to
have
do.
a plan, when they have a plan in place with First Choice Financial, then we encourage them. Yes, you can spend this. We actually budgeted in your plan $10,000 a year to go on vacations.
Love that.
And your plan works out to the end. You're going to have excess funds in your plan when you pass away. Wouldn't you like to know that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Can I take an extra $5,000 this year? Sure, take the extra $5,000. You can only take $5,000 next year. I'm just teasing. So those are things
There's a
that we
way
need
to
to look
plan.
at. But if it's part of the plan, great.
Yes.
If you don't know, you can never be sure. Am I having the cost of going on a vacation that I can't afford, or buying a house I can't afford, or whatever it might be, versus I've got the cost of regret. I could have done all of these things. I could have had all of these experiences, and now I'm 90 years old and I physically can't do it anymore.
Right.
Or the people that I loved and wanted to do it with are gone.
Right.
Yes.
So there's costs either way. And so we encourage you to find out is what can be and what can't be inside of your plan and your goals and your objectives. And we would love to work with you with that. So give us a call.
It's a huge emotional hurdle. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
especially the first 5 years of retirement.
Right.
Because now you just have to change your mindset.
Yes.
And it's really hard for some people to change that mindset that I can start spending now. And I have the health to do that because I don't know what my health's going to be in 10 years from now, 15 years from now.
It's true.
Yep. So those are things that we work with and coach our clients with.
Kevin, thank you so much. Joe, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, this is your opportunity to call in and schedule a consultation one-on-one. You might be feeling apprehensive about how your retirement is going to feel. And if you have a lot of anxiety and you're not sure if you can actually spend money, well, pick up the phone and call in and have a structured financial plan. It'll benefit you. There's no obligation. The number is on your screen, 888-959-2743. Again, 888-959-2743. You're being invited into the office of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated, and you're going to sit down with Kevin or Joe and let them get to know you one-on-one. There's peace of mind when you have a structured, well-designed retirement plan. You can know exactly how much you can spend and still have confidence to know the most important thing: you will not run out of money in retirement. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back momentarily with so much more when we return.
When we tell someone something, they'll say, we can take that to the bank. If we can't do something, we'll tell them that. We're straight up with our clients. It all comes down to using the products for the people's needs, not selling product.
Being independent means that we have freedom to do what's best for our clients. We're not beholden to any other party to make sure that we're meeting a quota or restricted on what it is that we can do or provide. We're free to go out into the market and find what's best for them and what's going to meet their needs.
The world's our oyster, as far as what resources we have for our clients, and that's beneficial for our clients more than anything.
Don't be afraid to go ask for help. Find somebody you can trust and start the process. Obviously, the financial part is very important. Having a plan in place that's going to provide you with sustainable income, that's resilient to the changes of life and of the market, that's really important.
Money doesn't care who it serves. And one of the things that we like to do in our company is we like to be able to help people determine where their money is going to be and who it's going to serve generation after generation.
Welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DiFazio, joined today by Kevin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich, partners at First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. And we're talking about a very important subject today. Obviously, making that transition from your working years into retirement can be overwhelming. It can be scary. It can be an identity shift. And we're talking about how you can have peace of mind by putting the right plan in place so that you can enjoy your retirement years. You've worked so hard to get there. Gentlemen, one thing that we should also talk about is the fear of market volatility. That is something that can trigger a very strong emotional response. Wow, Kevin, especially compared to when people are working. Talk a little bit about that, because you're suddenly responsible for your own paycheck, and all of a sudden there's a market crash and you're taking from those funds.
Yeah, yep. So if you're pulling money from your investment for income, and then the market also is taking money out of the investment because of a loss, how long is that investment going to last?
Yes.
And so, when you're working, you're putting money into it. You're doing those contributions from your paycheck into it. The employer is putting money into it as well from their bank as well. And so, if the market does go down a little bit, you're buying in with that new money, lower stock price. And then when it increases, you're getting that gain, which is a higher gain. But when you're not working, you're no longer purchasing more stock. You're actually taking money out of it. So it can be devastating if that's all you're relying on. So timeline to recover is shorter. As you retire, you're getting shorter time to recover. While you're working, the market in 2008, market went down 40%. It took 7 years for that to rebound to its original value, if whatever investment you had in that market. What if you were going to retire within 5 years from that? It never recovered to what you actually wanted to, what you needed it to, until 2 years later.
But that's okay. Life stopped and inflation didn't do anything over those 5 years.
Life just sort of stopped.
Yeah. That's true. That's scary when you think about it.
Then you add the fear sequence of returns, which Joe could touch on.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 35, 40 years old and retirement's 20 plus years away, and you don't really think all that much about market volatility. You've got a savings plan put together, and Market news is, okay, that's fine. And as we approach, we naturally kind of feel like that. I need to start paying attention to this more, and rightly so. There's a healthy level of respect that should be offered the market risk and volatility. And we need to address that during our planning. But we don't want to be so fearful that we make emotional decisions that we are. And we see it. I don't know what's going to happen politically or economically, and so I took my whole 401k and put it into cash last spring, and it's like, oh wow, okay, well we just missed the recovery. We locked in the gain, we locked in the losses.
Yep.
That can be devastating.
It can be.
But a lot of people make these emotional decisions, Joe, and think about that. It's fear and greed that are two strongest things that people react to. How do you actually help someone not make those decisions?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a powerful question there, because I know you hear that all the time where people are like, I'm really tempted to just do this. What guidance do you have?
Yeah, we're typically looking at undefined goals or goals that are maybe arbitrary. So have we really spent time to think about what's our retirement date or season, and what does it look like, and how much are we going to be spending, and what is our lifestyle is, so that we have something realistic to start planning towards. And then, the goal really is to identify how much do I really need to do at the least lowest risk to get there. Okay. And then we can start to talking about like, okay, well now I want to be more aggressive. How does that impact that?
Yes.
Right? I might not be getting all of the gains, but I'm certainly not taking all of the losses. So finding that balance of risk assessment and volatility is a super important part of the process. That allows us not to be overswinging or being too conservative.
Absolutely. And then, Kevin, how do you help clients differentiate between normal market conditions and a genuine threat to their financial plan?
Yeah, by stress testing on the models, I believe we need to do that. It demonstrates how the plan performs under historical worst-case scenarios.
Okay.
Media headlines are all out there, and a lot of times the media drives a lot of this. From the political standpoint, from the economic standpoint, from anything, it drives this. So we are very emotional creatures to begin with, human beings are, and so we need to basically be sort of unemotional when it comes to this. And also rely on your financial advisor.
Yes.
Rely on your partner who has your best interests at heart. We can see these trends, okay? From historically performance, we can see this, and we can help you determine, hey, I think we need to make some changes here. I think we need to tweak a little bit here. Maybe put some money into more cash,
Yes.
So just part of proper planning is having some money in cash in, like, let's say, a money market account that's tied to the market, that's giving you a stable return, that if the market does come down a little bit, we can pull some of those funds out that are stable returned, and then let the market rebound a little bit. So those are just some of the nuances that we help with. But yes, definitely being communication with your advisor is a big deal.
So basically, it's also like just building a protective shield, if you will, about anything that could come your way to make sure that you have peace of mind. And Joe, that is the benefit of having a well-designed retirement plan. You and Kevin have a very special offer to our viewers at home. Talk about what that is before we take our commercial break.
Yeah, so is your plan set up for all of the goals that you want? Is it going to be overly aggressive or too conservative? Do you know what income you're going to need? There's a lot of pieces to it, and we would love to offer you a complimentary customized retirement plan. And that's going to be a process that we work through over a few meetings. We will get to know you, talk about what's important to you, start working towards those goals. But the first step is for you to reach out and give us a call. 888-959-2743. That's the number on the screen. Please give us a call. Someone can start the process to get you in touch with us and sit down with Kevin and I or one of our associates, and we'll be able to start working with you. There's also a QR code on the screen as well. You pull out your smartphone and you can communicate with that as well. Or you can reach out directly to us on our website, firstchoicefinancialservicesinc.com.
Joe, thank you so much. And Kevin, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 888-959-2743, or grab your smartphone and simply click on the QR code in the bottom corner. We're going to take a very short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the family dynamic. Think about that for a little bit. Are your goals in alignment with your spouse? And how do you say no to an adult child if they ask for help and maybe you're not sure if you can give it? We're going to talk about the family dynamic when we return. Stay tuned.
He's always there, watching over you, guiding almost every decision you make, in every paycheck, every transaction, every little thing you earn. Even your private moments are not immune. Want to remove Uncle Sam from your retirement?
Welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DiFazio, joined today by Kevin and Joe Deitrich, partners at First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. And we're talking all about the shift that happens when you move from the working years into retirement, making sure that you have peace of mind and understanding that your identity, even though it might go away, it just changes. It's going to be a different part of your life. Now, what about in this last segment, we talk about the family dynamic, being in alignment with your spouse, making sure that your decisions are one-on-one, and also, what about helping adult children? Thank you for being with us. And gentlemen, this is so extremely common because obviously, I know you see a lot of couples in the office. And so, Joe, I'm going to put you in the hot seat for just a second. So, viewers, this is going to be fun. How many couples come in, and are they 100% in agreement with what they want to do in retirement?
Well, let's just say it's less than 50%.
Okay,
It could
I
be
was gonna
significantly
say.
less than 50%, even if it's on a small area. But we all have our own individual goals and dreams and visions. Personally, I'm not a beach person. My wife's a beach person, right? I mean, that's going to compound. Where do we vacation? Do we buy a vacation home? Where do we, want to move? If our kids move across the country to Colorado, are we following them or not? Just general lifestyle choices are going to be slightly different. We may view retirement differently. We just met with a couple who he worked his entire career, and she never worked outside the home. And guess what she wants to do when she retires? She wants to travel extensively. No, she doesn't want to work. She wants to travel. She wants to get out of the local community and be, in the world, right? He doesn't necessarily maybe feel that way, but you need to work together and find out what the balance is that you both are happy with, and that's sometimes some marriage counseling that we get to do during that time, or at least a forum to talk and discuss. Because when you come in and sit down with your spouse, and we really encourage you both to come and sit and meet with us, not just one of you. There's equal voices here in that room. We want to hear from both of you what you desire with retirement and what your goals are. And it's a safe space to continue to open up and talk about those things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Kevin, I want to ask you about a very important topic. I know a lot of people, in fact, some of my friends are going through this right now. The toll of enabling adult children financially. Talk a little bit about how does that jeopardize a retirement plan that happened to a very close friend of mine.
I don't think we have enough time.
Right, I know. We need more
to
time.
cover all of this. This is a huge epidemic in our country, is that parents are still having to support their grown children in retirement. Obviously, I would go back and say this starts back when they're toddlers, teaching them different aspects or not teaching them different aspects and helping them to be able to be more proactive, more responsible as they're gaining to be an adult.
Yes.
But from a financial standpoint, it's hard because we have to encourage our clients to treat them as adults and not support their habits or support their lack of good habits. But it's also, another thing is that they're family and they need to be able to support them.
Right.
And take care of them. And they've worked all their life for these funds, and they're going to go, most of the money's going to go to the kids anyway. So how do we do that from a tax benefit, okay? And staying within the laws of the country from that benefit, understanding that this is mainly maybe just their inheritance, that they're helping them out, but it's maybe their inheritance. It's not like a free handout, you know what I mean? So they might not have money left and then their life that they can get, or they can come to them. So those are just some hard conversations that sometimes we have to have with our clients.
Yes.
Because this is a huge issue.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and you want to
Nationwide.
identify, is this a goal to be a gifting or a legacy piece of, my assets and my plan are intentionally gifting or helping the next generation. That can be a very healthy environment to do something. What we don't want to have is essentially we're jeopardizing your ability to continue to be able to provide for yourself throughout the rest of your lifetime, and we're living longer as individuals because we are helping out our kids that maybe we need to encourage them to stand on their own 2 feet.
Absolutely.
Like living longer, I think I have the stats here. Yeah, so if you're 60 years old now, and you're a female, your chances of living past 90 is 50%.
Wow. Okay.
Past 95, 33%. Now, us guys don't live quite as long, so we've got a little bit less. So 42% to 90 and 23% to 95.
Wow.
But there's a very good chance, and if you're married, one of you may be living past 95. There's a very good chance of that. So we can't assume that, well, my parents lived till X, Y, Z. We got to plan for the long haul.
Yeah. I met a lady on the plane the other day, and she mentioned that she heard from a financial advisor, she didn't mention who it was, on TV or something, that whatever money you put into your, let's say, your retirement plan, or maybe your 401k or IRA, that money could be also spent on your family as you're living. That was a unique situation, a unique perspective. I never thought about that.
Interesting.
So my thought went to, okay, in this particular topic, maybe we take the kids on a family vacation each year, and that's part of our support to them, that they get away, they're able to enjoy the family. You're able to help and see them enjoy, and not just, here you go, here's another $5,000.
It's true.
Do what you want to with it.
Yes.
So I think that might be an easy fix, but also something we need to talk about.
Yeah, it's a good perspective
Sure.
of moving it towards a healthy way of supporting and passing on wealth to the next generation and not enabling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you so much. And Kevin, thank you so much.
you.
To our viewers at home, we know that you have a lot of questions about how to plan your perfect retirement, how to have stress-free retirement. The number to call in is 888-959-2743, or we invite you to grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Mid-State Money Talk. Take care.